There are various grant programs to apply for. There, in terms of the nonprofit revenue stream, in terms of the for-profit revenue stream, there are commissions. There aren't enough to go around, just like there aren't enough grants to go around, but there are commissions, there are opportunities, there are opportunities for composers of so-called concert music or so-called serious music. I hate that term, serious music, because all the other stuff's silly, or so-called classical music. I don't like that term either, because classical music implies, well, oh, this is classical, it's ancient Greece, they're like statues of Hercules floating around. Concert music doesn't work either, because there are rock concerts. Is that not a concert? But this kind of music, whatever we call it, the music without a name, how does that stuff, which is essentially non-commercial, enter into the marketplace? A lot of composers today are doing work in other media. They're working for film. People who would write a symphony or a string quartet might just as easily now do a film soundtrack or use their music in other commercial media. We had composers there's a composer I know who writes music for video games. We talked to him about that. But in terms of the writing music that's performed and makes money that way, there are some interesting avenues that you might not expect, where the orchestra is a certain world and only a certain few people can get in. It is possible, but it's difficult. The world of the concert band, writing for a wind ensemble. Well, most universities across the country have them. And they're always asking for new music. And they commission composers, and they pay for new music. So, there are all these other streams. One of the things that we try to do at the American Music Center is let people know what the opportunities are as we learn about them and kind of spread the word about them.
Do you think of yourself as an entrepreneur?
As an entrepreneur.
You're not just a composer, you're a businessman too, right?
In terms of what I do as a composer, the other side of what I do, aside from what I do at the AMC. Well, it's interesting because I'm at the American Music Center. I've been here now for 7 years, and I earn my living, I pay my bills by the work that I do at the American Music Center. I also write about music. I'm a freelance music journalist, and I write about music that way. But I don't really make money enough, certainly not enough to live on, off of my compositions. And that's not really why I do them. And, maybe it would be great if I could make money that way. And, some people say, well, gee, wouldn't you want to be a composer full time and make your money writing music? But, I do a lot of wonderful things here, too. This part of my life fuels that part of my life. My music is what it is now because I'm exposed to so much other music from being at the American Music Center. It's opened my mind as a listener, and I think as a result, it's opened my mind as a composer. I know I'm evading your question a little bit. But in terms of being an entrepreneur, the biggest thing that's ever happened to my music thus far in my life happened this past summer. I had an evening-length stage work, an opera, for lack of a better word. Although we didn't call it an opera, we call it a performance oratorio, because it doesn't function according. People think opera, they think Puccini, Verdi, Mozart, and that's not what this is. But it's an evening-length music theater piece, but it's not music theater because then people think Broadway. It's not that either. But I had this work done this summer in Vilnius, Lithuania, and it was amazing. We had 2 performances. Extremely committed performances, extremely committed rehearsals, real love and care for the work. We were on national television for this thing. Did I make any money for it? No. Was I going in there saying, oh, gee, I'm going to get rich now my opera's being done in Lithuania? No. That's not why I did it. But it was an extraordinarily fulfilling project to have done. So would I do it again next week? Well, I don't have vacation time at the moment, so I might need to juggle that a little bit. But yeah, I mean, would I say no to a large commission for writing for orchestra? No, of course not. But, would I write the piece if someone wanted me to anyway? If I could find the time to do it? Yeah, of course. Music exists on many different planes for me. And you might turn around and say, well, gee, you have the luxury of saying that. You must be really comfortable and cozy. I'm not. but I'm content. I live kind of close to the bone, but I kind of like that. I like being able to. I can pretty much do the things I want to do in my life at this point.